Hello crocheters, welcome to Crazy Cool Crochet. And rather than bring you a typical pattern tutorial, I am bringing you some suggestions, some tips, some hacks to help you be a better crocheter, or at the very least to help you turn out some nicer end products. I'm actually not able to come up with some new tutorials right now because I hurt my arm on this one here, and I'll actually show you the culprit that caused this in a little bit as part of the suggestions that I'm going to offer. Speaking of which, some of this, at least one of these, is going to be considered maybe controversial or mean. Some people are not going to like what I have to say, so stay tuned for that. But really, I only mean to help, and to help you turn out better crochet projects. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is, actually, can I just say one thing here? Please excuse the pandemic here. I'm so sorry. I don't even know what to do with it anymore. This video will probably go into perpetuity and this here, but if you're watching this 5 years from now, remember this was videotaped while the pandemic was still going on. So I've been cutting my own hair and yeah, not good results this last time. Oh well. Okay, so let's get going. The first tip or hack that I have for you, you've probably seen me, or maybe you've seen me do this in my videos at the very beginning. I don't use a typical slip knot when I start my foundation chain. I use a little trick that my grandmother taught me decades ago. And I never learned how to do anything else. Yes, I do know now how to do a slip knot and the magic knot and all these other things, but this little hack, somehow it just feels so much faster and so much easier than trying to learn how to do a particular knot. So take a look and see what you think. I always do it this way. Hook in front of the yarn. Just twist the hook all the way around. Do your first chain, and there's your knot. Once you learn this, it's so fast. To me, it's a lot faster than any other kind of slip knot. Well, hopefully some of you found that a little bit helpful, and you might try it yourself. Okay, the next suggestion, you may or may not have seen also. I have been using this quite a bit lately, and that is when you are doing your foundation chain, rather than going through the center of the chain the way we typically would, you go in through the back loop of the chain, each chain, and that is creating a flat bottom. And you'll see that I'll show a couple, one or two examples of it. And it makes a really big difference in the bottom, in that foundation chain. And you typically want to use this when you're not going to add a border to the bottom. And this makes what I call a self border. So take a peek. Work in the back loops for just this foundation row. This way we won't have to go back and add a border. This is pretty much going to give you a self-made border. Single crochet. See, if you turn this over, here's the normal right side of the chain. If you turn it over, you'll see those loops that kind of pop out on you. That's where you want to enter your hook. You'll see that it forms a border of sorts, or a little wall. And if you flip it over just that little bit, they really just pop right out at you. It makes it a lot easier. Okay, so you can see a little bit here how it's forming like a flat bottom. And it's really pretty. Okay, the next hack or tip is where you enter the hook in each stitch. I almost always show this, depending on the pattern. So some patterns will call for, and some of my own patterns do call for, entering the hook in the spaces between the stitches. If you want the rows to be a little bit more closed up or without, big gaping holes, then I'm going to show you how to do that where you're only entering under the 2-strand chain that is forming in the stitches in the row below. So go ahead and take a look at that and see if maybe this is something you've never done or you haven't come across yet. Take a look. Now take care that you are entering the hook under the 2 strands that form a chain at the top. You're entering into there. Do not enter in the spaces in between below. By entering under the 2-strand chain, it will give you a tighter, cleaner look. So maybe I should call this Coffee with Crazy Cool Crochet. Oh, that could be a new vlog. Have you all seen those vlogs that are going around now where the creators, the people are showing themselves folding their laundry, mopping their floors, scrubbing their countertops? Like, what is that? It needs to stop. I really like watching YouTubers who give us a glimpse of their personal life, maybe their home. They'll give us a little walkthrough. But this thing that seems to have taken off with the folding the laundry and sweeping your floors and vacuuming, come on. I don't want to see myself doing that. Why do I want to watch somebody else doing that? Okay, I had to get that off my chest. Okay, sorry. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is something that a lot of people don't even think about. They don't give it any consideration, but when you're, I'm going to get rid of this. So when you are working along and it's time to turn the project, the way that you turn, in my opinion, makes a difference. Okay, so a lot of people just, they're going along and they turn it this way. Yeah. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about, because doing this is not making any sense at all. So go ahead and take a look. And then come back and tell me in the comments which way you turn and if you think it makes any difference at all. Okay, if you turn this way, notice what happens down here. It gets twisted. See that? Now if you turn it this way, it stays nice and straight. Okay, see? Go this way, it gets all twisted up. It skews the stitch. And I know a lot of people do it that way. Okay, so turn it this way and you get a nice clean stitch. Okay, now this next suggestion is just that. It's just a suggestion, but when you are going to gift a crochet item, try to stay, I would stay away from gifting a wearable, because the sizing in all the various patterns and designs out there, it's not consistent, and it can't be. It makes a huge difference between the person who designed it and created the item from the other person who is using your pattern. Obviously, tension plays a huge factor in the outcome. And then the yarn that is used. Okay, so a lot of times it's just not possible to use the same yarn that the designer used. You can't find it in the store, or maybe you're from a different country and the things in your stores are entirely different, the yarn. So a lot of times, people substitute yarns, which is entirely normal, and usually it's okay. But when it comes to wearables, that's when it gets really tricky. Yeah, it turns out that it didn't fit them at all, even though you followed the pattern exactly for a size whatever. So if you're going to gift something, it makes so much more sense, don't you think, to give something like a basket. I love baskets for gifts because then you not only made the basket, but you can fill the basket with other things, soaps or little dish towels or whatever. And then that would make such a nice gift. And you're not taking the chance on whether it's going to fit or not. Okay, or pillows. I love pillows for gifts. Pillow covers, because first of all, they're so fast and in most cases, in a lot of cases, very easy. And in my case, my pillow designs, a lot of them are so unique and yet very stylish. So I'm going to leave some examples, some links. Actually, I'm going to leave links to a lot of these things that I'm showing you in the description area below. Okay, so click where it says show more, or there's a little V, a little arrow next to the name Crazy Cool Crochet. That opens up the description area where I've got my the link to the blog, crazycoolcrochet.com, links to my social media, Facebook, Pinterest, Etsy channel. So go ahead and look at that. Pillows, perfect solution for gift giving. They're great for housewarming. Well, so are the baskets. And an exception to this rule, what I'm calling a rule, is gifting something, a wearable that is more of a one size fits most, such as this, like a poncho that you can just throw on, and it's open on the sides, and it can fit multiple sizes. And you can take a fairly educated guess on your friend's size, and you can't go wrong. Ponchos, most ponchos are also one size fits most, or small, medium, large, that kind of thing. So that's a good exception to the rule. And of course, hats. Hats are awesome for gift giving. Most hats fit, again, the one size fits all situation. All right, now here's going to come the controversy. And maybe I'm making a bigger deal out of it than I should, but it drives me crazy to see. And I think most crocheters actually do this. I'm pretty sure I'm in the minority. But let me explain myself. Okay, so hoarding, yarn hoarding. I don't understand that. I can totally see. I spend a lot of time in yarn stores, obviously. This is my business, my only source of income, if you haven't heard me say it 1,000 times. So, which reminds me, please subscribe, please. Like I just said, my only source of income. Click the like button also below. That's super helpful for me. Anyway, okay, back to business. So, hoarding yarn. I see so many crocheters with walls and walls of yarn. It looks like they live in a yarn store. And I get it. I mean, when I see that, I think, oh, that's so nice. It's so pretty. I know it feels good just to even look at that. I know that. I know it must feel great to walk into your craft room and see that wall of beautiful yarn. I get that. But if you go in a store and you are buying yarn just because it looks pretty, or you've never used it before and it looks like something you could use in the future, so you go and you're like, oh, I love this, this is so cute, I'm going to take 3 skeins of this. And oh, look at that, I'm going to take 2 of that one, because it's a little pricey. And, oh, they're having a sale, so I'm going to take 3 of this and 4 of that. And one of this one, because this one, I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but look how pretty. Okay, I know that's what most crocheters do. And then you get home, and now you're trying to match patterns to yarn, and I get this all the time with my patterns. People asking me, well, okay, well, I know you said to use this yarn, but I only have this, or I only have 3 skeins, and you're calling for 5, but can I use this? It's like, wow, no. So that's got to be, I don't know, to me, it's wasteful. Yeah, it's pretty to look at, but you know, what are you going to do with it if you can't find a pattern that matches exactly those 3 skeins of yarn? And it's got to be that exact weight. You know, I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand. Help me understand, okay? In the comments below, tell me why you do this. Okay? Anyway. Oh, I almost forgot. I was going to show you. Actually, another suggestion is to use the yarn, and I touched on this already, that is suggested in the pattern. As much as possible, use the yarn that the designer used in order to get the same results, or at least as similar as possible. Again, considering tension, which can really skew the project. Now, I have made several projects that I have used a certain yarn for, and that yarn worked perfectly, and then I used the same exact yarn, same brand, the same version, in a different color, and it turned out to be entirely different. They were both number 4, and yet one was significantly thicker than the other one. And I'm not talking about dye lots or anything like that. I'm talking about entirely different colors, but the same exact brand and the same exact version. Okay, so for example, Super Soft or Super Saver, and they turn out to be entirely different. This is what happened with the culprit that caused my injury and that I'm not able to work on new tutorials right now. Let me show you. Okay, you might have seen, hopefully, and again I'll leave a link, but this is my Diamond Baubles wrap, and it ties in the back, which is a really cool, different design. But look how drapey it is. See, it's really soft. Okay, now let me show you the width. Okay. Now, this was my second go-round. The first one I made with a yarn that I have used before, as I was saying, and it had turned out very soft and very drapey, and I thought the yarn was going to be perfect because I loved the color. So let me show you what happened with that. Okay, so here is the original version. Beautiful color, but it turned out really thick, really heavy. It doesn't drape. Look how it just sits there. And when I finished the entire thing, my arm was absolutely killing me because it was so heavy. And this is an extra long design lengthwise, because it wraps around and then ties in the back, so it's extra long. So by the time I was done, my arm was killing me, and I knew it was all wrong. I put it on, and it was horrible. Now, the exact same pattern. I changed nothing except the yarn. So, I went with this one. And see how drapey it is? And look how much smaller that turned out. And this is the size that I was looking for. And super drapey like I just showed you. Really, really soft and really, it turned out perfect. So the yarn that you use makes a huge difference. Don't try to replicate a design using any old yarn that you happen to have in your stash, okay? It might work, you know, so there's nothing wrong with trying a different yarn, obviously. And a lot of times I do offer substitutions where I know you might not be able to find the same yarn in your area. Oh, the one thing I really wanted to bring up. Speaking of being careful with the yarns that you choose, pet peeve, major pet peeve. When you are making a garment for a baby, please, please be careful with what yarn you're using. I have seen this so many times, and every time I see it, I cringe. Poor little baby. People who are using like a number 4, and I know it's a cheaper yarn. I mean, you can tell just by looking at it in photos. I can tell just by seeing a picture of it that, oh man, they use like a really thick, scratchy yarn. And they're going to gift it, and, you know, the mother is going to feel obligated to put it on the poor little baby. And that thing has got to be so scratchy and hard and rough, and don't do that. And don't go by the yarn package that might say baby. I have done that. I used a yarn, I'm going to go ahead and say it, Bernat Baby, and I was using it for a woman's top. But I wanted it to be, you know, summery and soft and thinner. It turned out to be the scratchiest thing ever. And I was absolutely shocked. I was so disappointed. It's like, it says baby, and it was a number 3. So why is it so stiff and hard? Okay. And I know that, you know, a lot of times if you wash something, it'll soften up. But you never know what's going to soften, what's not. So when it comes to gifting for baby, please choose carefully. So what do you think about these ideas, these suggestions? Is there anything that rubbed you the wrong way? I bet you there was a lot that rubbed you the wrong way, because I just had to get this stuff off my chest. I'm not able to create new tutorials, like I said. So I'll get back to that, though. I've got all kinds of stuff. I've already started sketching out designs and stuff, so I'm coming back. I'm coming back with some more really cool, crazy cool crochet designs. In the meantime, have a look around. If you click where it says Crazy Cool Crochet below the video, it'll take you to my homepage, but that's just a sampling. Okay, up where it says videos, click on that, and that will take you to the library of videos that I've got out there. And if you haven't seen my designs, you might be pleasantly surprised. I do a lot of really, really cool, unique projects. So go ahead and take a look. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Thank you.